Welcome back, you guys, and I've gotten a lot of new subscribers from my NCAA videos that I've been posting, so welcome aboard for this Lions Fantasy Franchise series. We are in Season 4 after coming off of our first Super Bowl victory over the Steelers, who we actually lost to in Week 2 of this season, and we are 0-2 so far in this season. And at 0-2, we're actually projected to have the number 3 pick in the draft, and Monte Lawrence might be without a doubt the greatest wide receiver that I've ever seen as a prospect. So Monte Lawrence out of Florida State is 6'6", 220 pounds, 22 years old. He's a physical type of receiver. He has A catching traffic, A catching, and his excel is great to elite. His speed is good to great, strength is great to elite, jumping is great to elite. Good to great, change of direction, agility is decent to solid. But this dude is literally like the second coming of Calvin Johnson. And I almost guarantee that he is a generational wide receiver. He's got to be at 6'6" with that elite athleticism, his elite catching ability, and pretty good route running as well. So I'm not sure we're going to maintain the 3rd overall pick in the draft, but we may try to use our draft capital that we've gotten over the last couple of seasons and a couple of our players potentially as well, and use it to try and get Monte Lawrence, because he is worth the risk of drafting him and potentially trading some really valuable assets. Now, looking at re-signing players, we actually have a lot of cap space to work with $130 million. Jameson is our #1 priority. We also get DeMarcus Lawrence and Max Bush we can re-sign right now. Baron Browning is there. Calvin Austin. Christian Harris is pretty important. Juwan Johnson. Mike Jackson. Damon Clark, who has been a rotation linebacker for us, and some other players as well. #1 consideration, though, is for Jameson Williams, who will eventually take over the mantle at wide receiver for Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is starting to age out of being that #1 wide receiver role. Jameson is now a 92 overall with superstar dev at only 24 years old. Obviously a huge piece of this offense. He has no interest in re-signing, and the major impact is that Michigan has state income tax, so he really doesn't want to have income tax. He's a scheme fit. We have the head coach historic winning percentage on our side, but even with that, his interest level is at the bare minimum. So we're going to start out with just a regular offer and see what he says. So he needs to account for my interest not being met here. So again, the only thing that he doesn't like is that we have state income tax, but we're going to have to continue to work on getting this deal hammered out with Jameson Williams. I do not want to let him go to free agency, of course, and I don't want to have to trade him away either. All right, DeMarcus Lawrence, 33 years old, aging out of being kind of our star defensive end. He's got the mentor tag now. He's still got star dev. He's still an 86 overall. He does want a lot of money, but it's only for 1 year, and we have a ton of cap space. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just give him this offer straight up. He's got decent interest in re-signing, and he's going to take it. And then lastly, we got Max Bush, who is only like, a 70 overall right guard. 23 years old, though, so he has potential to eventually be a future part of this offense as a starter down the line at some point. And so we're going to offer him 2 years. We're going to offer him a little bit less money. Actually, let's do 3 years. See if we'll get him for this. Unacceptable. Okay, Max Bush. Playing against the Washington Commanders, Jared Goff is their quarterback right now. He just came off a 4-touchdown, 1-interception game. They got Antonio Gibson, halfback, Isaiah Pacheco. Anything else? Jacoby Myers, Darius Slayton, Nico Collins, and Mike Gesicki. O-line is looking pretty solid. They got Myles Garrett, Tristan Hill. Their D-line looks really good. Shaq Leonard Wright. I remember this team now. They got Morris Webster at middle linebacker, who's their backup. He's got 89 speed. They got Eric Kendricks, Colin Farrell, who's okay. Chance McAllister is the guy that is a beast. An 82 overall corner, 95 speed. David Long, Elijah Molden, Julian Blackman, and Kyle Duggar. So an okay all-around team. Sean Spellman playing in his 2nd season. Here's the main thing, though, is that the Commanders are 0-2, and they're probably a legit 0-2. We're 0-2, and we should have a much better record. We've got to perform better. Obviously, got to get our first win of the season on the board. That is our #1 objective right now. Antonio Gibson carrying it for 5 yards, but really the main issue has been, I don't know, it's been the defense, surprisingly. And our defense has had periods where we've looked really good. And it's a delayed handoff. Can we get there for the tackle? And Gibson picks up the first down. The run defense hasn't been great. The problem is Dontrell is still out for 3 or 4 more weeks. Dontrell Parker, our star D tackle that we drafted in the 1st round, again, has the very low injury rating, so he is just unreliable to consistently be playing. And wow, what a throw by Jared Goff. Didn't really end up in, yeah, ended up being a loss of 1, but crazy throw nonetheless. And we're going to come out in cover 3, actually, dropping back a little bit. But, let's see, yeah, Dontrell not playing has been a huge issue. And I mentioned it before in a previous video, but we might just have to straight up move off of him. And he's still a young player on the team, hasn't gotten to his second contract yet, but the dude is never available to play. Short out, Surtain knocks it away. Good job by Patrick Surtain, forcing the incompletion. And we're going to get the ball back, and we can see what Brian Jackson is going to do on the return. Brian Jackson also has not had the most outstanding second season so far. Only 2 games in, though. Let's see what he can do on this return, and does basically nothing. All right, first play of the game. We're going to look for Jameson underneath. Get something quick. Or, oh, I was looking for it, and I definitely hesitated way too long. Thought I could throw it over the top. Quentin Posey, but it was not there. Instead, should have looked for Jameson like I was going to originally the entire time. We're going to audible out of this play and get into strong close. Try a play action shot on 2nd and 22. Kind of pretend like we're giving up on the drive, if that works. They're bringing pressure. And Jameson's got his man beat over the top. What a bomb by Cooper. What a bomb by Jake Semmer. And Jameson's going to take it all the way for the touchdown, proving why he is worth that mega contract. And again, we're going to have to make sure we re-sign this dude. Cooper was open underneath, but we looked a second late, and we still had enough time to get it off to Jameson, luckily. But look at this separation speed. So Chance McAllister, I think, is the DB covering him. We got to double check, but I think that was Chance McAllister, their #1 corner, taken, I think, top 3 overall in the draft, maybe taken first. And Chance McAllister's got 95 speed, but Jameson's got top tier speed. And it was Chance McAllister. So Jameson beat Chance McAllister one-on-one. Pretty crazy. All right, right now we do have Ryan Neal in as one of our safeties. I don't love it. We're probably going to sub him out, but we're in big nickel. And was that Quentin Jeffries? Yeah, Quentin Jeffries with a nice tackle. Love having Quentin Jeffries on the team. Been so great so far. Already had some huge plays, but it was mostly with pass breakups. But he's got that speed, 6'3", man. He can cover a lot of ground quick. And again, no one really open on that play. Gonna be 3rd and 8. So Jared Goff is in an obvious passing situation. We're gonna drop back into coverage. You know it's a pass. Just gonna see if he can beat zone coverage. I honestly don't think he'll be able to. We just gotta get pressure. I hope Sean Hazelwood can make a play. We're underneath. We're all over it. Oh, we make the tackle just now. Whew! I thought for a second we kind of whiffed on that tackle. But we're gonna be returning again with Brian Jackson. We'll see if he can do anything more on this punt return. Mike Jackson back to block. And nope, nothing really getting done on the punt return. At this point, in season number 4, it's actually hard to make sure we get everybody the ball enough. And see, even Calvin Austin's in the slot, and I want Antoine Andrews to be in. So it's hard to manage getting touches for Quentin Posey, Cooper Kupp, Lionel Hebert, Brian Jackson, Jameson Williams, and then our young players too. Like eventually I want to get, you know, our 6'9" tight end on the field with his, you know, elite athleticism, but it's tough when we have so much depth across the board on offense. Lionel Hebert on another carry, the same run play, and we pick up the first down. Hebert starting out pretty well so far. He's struggled so far this season to run the ball, you know, super effectively, but it's just weird how, you know, our running backs, it seems like their first season with the team, they play so effectively, and then over time, like once we get to the second season, they just, I don't know, they're just not the same. Calvin Austin with a broken tackle going out of bounds, the first down pickup on the bubble screen. But, I mean, if you guys have been watching this series for a while, and I know some of you have, tell me if I'm wrong when I say that our running backs are always good for us in the first year. Ramondre was good for us in the first year. Hebert was really good for us in the first year. Brian Jackson was really good for us in the first year. Throwing underneath. Then Posey drops it. Wow. But it seems like once we get to our second season that our running backs just, I don't know if it's not getting the same holes. The O-line has gotten consistently worse over the years. That's definitely true. But, oh, do we have time to make the throw? Ah, man, I think Quentin Posey was going to break on that and get open. Chance McAllister, I think, was on him. Or no, that was their safety. Anyways, on 3rd and 10, we're in play action. I don't love that Lionel Hebert is in the backfield. He's just as kind of as a blocker. Rather have Brian Jackson in. And we're throwing it over the top. Kind of a bad throw, but Cooper mosses the DB. That was a bad throw by Jake. That just hovered in the air for way too long. And Glowinski is out with a bruised sternum. So Carmen's coming in. We're subbing in Dre Taylor for a play. We're going to send him on a go over the middle. We got one deep safety. See if he can beat his matchup. Throwing it, trying to split the two. He caught it. Wow, his catching is so low. He caught it between 3 people. He drops it wide open sometimes. I'm super surprised he caught that and held on for the TD. But a great job by Dre Taylor getting his first touchdown of his career, I think, in game number 3. We're coming out in dime this play. They're in kind of a strong formation, but honestly, we're up 14-0. And like I was saying at the beginning of the game, man, like, we're not a legit 0-2, but they are. Wow, Nathan Walls almost got jumped over by Antonio Gibson. But they pick up 6 yards on the play. We're not a legit 0-2. I think the Commanders are a legit 0-2. Jared Goff is not very good. Only a 74 overall. Coming out in an empty set. We're bringing a zone blitz. This is probably going to get picked apart in empty. Watching underneath. Nathan Walls kind of got beat. We're there, though. Christian Harris forces the fumble. Quentin Jeffries on the recovery. He goes down at the 35, and we'll see if that stands. I'm not sure if his knee was down or not. We'll see what they do. They're probably going to end up reviewing this, and they're going to review it. They're probably going to overturn it, too. But nonetheless, a great tackle by Christian Harris. Just upending Antonio Gibson. Look at that. Let's see, like, I think he low-key fumbled it before his elbow touched, but the game is probably going to say that he didn't turn it over. Yeah, and they gave the ball back to him. All right, well, it's 3rd and 1. We're going to send in the heavies. Let's see, we got to put, yeah, Baron Browning is in, and so is Sean Hazelwood. Sean Hazelwood has not made much of an impact. I haven't been scheming for him to really get open. It's empty. I'm not worried about Jared Goff as a QB run up the middle. The short out is there, though. Quentin Jeffries gets beat that time by Gesicki. Yeah, we came out ready for a run, and they just knew to abuse that kind of, and just immediately we're going for the pass when we were in base 3-4 out of the empty set. And so we're at the start of the 2nd quarter, and they're coming out in trips on the right side. We're playing cover 1 out of base 3-4. It's going to be a run up the middle, though, and we're there immediately with Sean Hazelwood and Baron Browning. And so if you guys are still watching at this point, let me know what you think about potentially trading Ramondre. We haven't done it yet. Oh, wow, what a throw. Good tackle by Surtain, just kind of falling down and tripping him. Making it 3rd and 1. But also, I don't know what to do with Baron Browning either. He's got to re-sign. But he, like, Sean Hazelwood kind of fills his role. DeMarcus Lawrence is, his future with the team is, I don't know, it's undetermined what he's going to do. We also need to trade for a high pick if we're not going to have a top 3 pick. Which, again, I don't think we're going to maintain the number 3 overall pick, but what I really want to get Monte Lawrence, the wide receiver. The dude is without a doubt a generational wide receiver. And as Cooper Kupp ages out of being a, a top wide receiver of all time. Oh, good job. Can we go? Baron Browning just turned his eyes off. Tariq did a great job tipping the ball back in bounds. That reminded me a lot of the Oklahoma Sooners DB passing the ball back in bounds for an interception. But Baron Browning just, his brain just turned off there. And so now we're at 39. LaMarcus Stump, our starting D tackle, is injured, which is awful because, we just traded for him. And, since Dontrell is out, now, Nate Vasher starting at DT, which is fine. But we have, like, nothing behind Nate Vasher at this point. Nothing behind him. Watching over the middle, we're there. Oh, we went for the pick. Shouldn't have done that. And they're able to pick up the first, making it 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. And so Lawrence Stupp could come back in. Re-injury risk is high, though, so we're not going to force him to do that. We're going to switch back into a pass defense sort of formation, kind of a mixed formation. We're in big nickel again, which is kind of our best formation overall. Our team is built for this formation anyways, with the sort of DBs we have. And, oh, great job again by Tariq. Could have potentially intercepted that ball. But that's a dangerous play right there. 2, short outs on each side. Playing cover 1. The outs are covered really well, but they still caught it for a good amount of yards. It's going to be 3rd and 5. And at this point, I want Jared to beat us with his arm and beat the zone. We're going to play cover 2. Watch routes underneath. Stuck on Clinton. I don't love this. And we get a nice hit, but Christian Harris can't force the incompletion. Nico Collins is able to hold on to it. But yeah, look at this. So we got Casey Clinton in, and he was, a late round pick for us this year. I don't love having him in, but that's how weak we are at DT right now. That's how thin we are. Jared Goff scrambling out, throws it away. Last second. Could have got the sack. All right, we are going to try to... Let's see. We're going to send the blitz on the opposite... Oh, this is not going to work, actually. We're going to bring a man blitz. I don't even know who I'm covering. And they beat us on the slant route immediately for the touchdown. Can't lie, Tariq has been playing great coverage, so giving up the one slant route, I can't really fault him too much, but it is a one touchdown game now. We're going to give Brian Jackson an opportunity to run the football. Hasn't seen the field all too much. See what he can do. So the blocking holds up, and really the blocking wasn't that bad. I probably should have just stayed outside. It's not really Brian Jackson's fault on that play. We're going to play action this time, and Brian Jackson's probably going to be wide open underneath. We do have the shot potentially to Bryant Jackson. Holds on to it despite the pressure. All right, we got Antoine Andrews one-on-one on the outside. We're going to send him on a post. I don't like that we have Lionel Hebert running a route. Don't throw into Antoine Andrews. He holds on to it. Can he break away? No, he doesn't have that sort of speed, but down to the 40-yard line. A great post route. I mean, that's what he kind of specializes in, though, too. He's definitely more of a deep ball wide receiver. And his deep route running is pretty solid. It's just his short and medium that's not great. But, man, yeah, like, he looked really explosive on that play. Really getting a lot of separation. 1st and 10. Cooper not getting a lot of love so far. He's in the slot on this play. He could get wide open, throwing it high. And he's able to come down with it. Down at the 18-yard line. And that, if you watch my NCAA videos, man, it would be so nice to be able to throw high passes in NCAA. That's just not a thing. I think high passes are kind of broken. I'm not going to lie. They're definitely broken in this game. We're trying to read option with Hebert, and we're going to hand it off to him, and just didn't really have much of a great hole on that play. And there's a flag as well for holding. So he's going to make it 1st and 20 instead. All right, 1st and 20. We're going to run Hebert. Just run him straight up the middle. Decent blocks, able to break off one tackle, going down for a 6-yard pickup, doing a great job on the ground. Really, the thing is, it feels like everything's working right now, so I don't feel like we have to hammer home the run game or the passing because, like I said, everything is just working for free at this point. Yeah, this Commanders defense should be better with the personnel they have. The short out could be open to Cooper. Underneath, Antoine's wide open. Good block set by Brian Jackson. And Antoine, the only problem he has is fumbling the ball. If you guys watch the series, Antoine Andrews, that's his only problem, is consistently fumbling the ball after the catch. And when I see two guys trying to rip the ball from him, that's usually pretty scary. We're going to watch Antoine on the double move. And he beats his man on the outside. We're going to throw it up high. He got separation, holds onto it for the touchdown. And Antoine could definitely fill that role as Cooper continues to, you know, kind of age out of being the top wide receiver. Antoine and Jameson are so good already at wide receiver. So it's like it would almost be too many great players, too many great wide receivers if we got Monte Lawrence as well. But, you know, it's tough. It's like, you know, Antoine Andrews could be, let's say, you know, if we're going to compare it to like an NBA player, Antoine Andrews could be like, but yeah, Antoine Andrews could be like Domantas Sabonis, and Monte Lawrence could be like Shaq. So that's the thing is, like, they're both great players, but obviously you want Shaq in that situation, right? Great tackle that time by Quentin Jeffries, kind of just going right for the kneecaps. And our backup DT, Nate Basher, is injured. What is going on with our D-line? We're really thin at this point. Casey Clinton is our starting DT with the injuries. Stump should be back because he could come back during the game. Good run here. Ryan Neal with a great job on the tackle on Antonio Gibson. So far, I can't be upset about really anything that we've done offensively or defensively. I feel like the team has played really well so far. Brian Jackson on the kick return to start the second half, up with that 14-point lead, and Jackson doesn't do much with it, up to the 27-yard line. But Jake has had a fantastic game so far. No turnovers. That's mainly the #1 thing I'm looking for with him. We have 250 offensive yards. Like I said, this defense for the Commanders should be a lot better than it actually is performing. And we're facing pressure. Myles Garrett comes in for the sack, his 2nd sack of the game. And I can't lie, you know, individual performance-wise, yeah, Myles Garrett's still doing really well. Shaq Leonard really has not made much of an appearance in this game, though. But now it looks like Myles Garrett is an X factor, so we got to watch out for that. We're going to send Posey on a block instead, and we're going to have Lionel Hebert block as well. We're going to shade right. We're going to watch the left side of the field to see if Cooper can get open. No one's really there. We got to throw it away. Luckily, we don't get intentional grounding. That probably should have been intentional grounding. But did you see how fast Myles Garrett shed the block? I blocked Lionel Hibbert and Posey. And our right tackle is blocking on that side, and he just went right through them immediately. We got Antoine Andrews. We got to throw it up top. We don't have enough time. Chance McAllister able to... Oh, man. Antoine almost caught it, but Chance McAllister got his fingertips on the ball. All right, 2nd and 6 from the 21. They are basically in the red zone. They're an empty. We're watching the short outs, and oh my God, Tariq couldn't force the incompletion on Antonio Gibson, but he was right there on that play. Almost made the play on the ball, but almost doesn't really do anything for us. So 1st and 10, we're bringing a man blitz, and they got short outs running again. There's a flag on the play. Nathan Wall's on the coverage. Again, Nathan Wall's not the most excellent man coverage DB because he's, used to be a linebacker and holding. So we're actually going to get them back to the 24-yard line at this point. We're going to drive back into zone coverage. I honestly don't think that Jared Goff has really beaten us much in zone. They're in pistol. Yeah, I'm not too worried about him making these throws, although he does have a ton of time, which doesn't make any sense because we've got great D linemen. I mean, I guess except for the DTs. Right now, the DTs are pretty thin, but like our D ends are not getting any pressure. Sean Hazelwood should be doing more, man. Kind of upset about that. The short out is there again. Quentin Jeffries can't make the tackle. Gesicki going down at the 5-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 2. It's unacceptable, honestly. On a 2nd and long situation, getting him to a 3rd and 2. It just can't do that. We're going to go into cover 2 last second here. We're probably going to get screwed over because we made that adjustment too late. They're throwing it underneath. Gibson picks up the 1st down. We were almost all over it. We're coming out in base 3-4. They're trying to just kind of put it right up the middle. Definitely a run play. Our D-line is really spread out, though. And we're there on Gibson. Gibson breaks 1 tackle, but goes down at the 3-yard line. It's I-form again. We're going to come out in a man blitz. It's going to be a run. You know it. Antonio Gibson and breaks a tackle on Surtain. Doesn't get into the end zone, down at the 1. And after Spencer Brown screws them over earlier with the holding call, he actually gets injured. And it's going to be 3rd and goal. They're going to be without their right tackle from the 1-yard line. And we're going to call a timeout. Normally, I don't like to call a timeout in the second half unless it's like at the last second of the game, but you're in a really bad formation. We're coming out in goal line. Oh, of course. We come out in goal line, and they come out in gun. So, see if Quentin Jeffries can just save us on this play. And we get a tackle off! What a tackle by Quentin Jeffries navigating through the traffic. How is Dontrell Parker even in? He's injured. Is there something going on with Madden? Because he's not even... I wasn't even able to play him. He has not been in all game, and then he gets injured. He's holding his shoulder. Yeah, this game is all sorts of buggy. 4th and goal. For some reason, it's like a super crazy, like high-stress situation for the kicker. It's a 21-7 game at home for the Commanders. This game is going crazy, man. There's so many bugs in this game. With that field goal, though, it's going to be an 11-point game. Still 2 possessions. Brian Jackson on the return. We're going to follow out left. Oh, and he breaks off the 1 tackle, but for whatever reason, Calvin Austin just decided not to block anybody. Quentin Jeffries is injured, though. Man, we are getting so many injuries in this game. I feel like I say that every game nowadays. I don't know what it is. Bruised shoulder. He was already out. I'm saying Dontrell was not in this game. But we're going to have to fire our PTs, our physical therapists. They're not doing their job, man. 1st and 10. Juwan Johnson over the top. Not really seeing anything that I really love. We're going to scramble outside. Try to make a play with our legs. And it's ultimately going to be a sack. I guess it counts as a rush, not a sack. We get 0 yards. We're trying to play action. Brian Jackson not in it again. Lionel Hibbert in instead. Going to see if they bite on it at all. We're dropping back into coverage. Cooper's not really there. Jameson is. What a throw. Oh, but Jameson drops it. Myles Garrett's injured, which is actually kind of huge for us. Quentin Jeffries has a foot fracture. Oh my God, man. All right, 3rd and 10. Now this is kind of a glitchy play. We're gonna send Quentin Posey on a go. We're gonna send Brian Jackson on an angle. I think Brian Jackson will be wide open. He beats his man one-on-one. He doesn't break away from Shaq Leonard, but he does pick up the 1st down for us. Jake having a fantastic game. 66% completion percentage up to this point. 3 TDs, no picks. Don't want to jinx him, obviously. Brian Jackson on the carry. Picks up a couple yards before going down. Brian Bright, our right tackle, is injured. Holding his stomach. And again, I don't know what it is. Is it the weather that's causing these injuries? But for real, as a coach, though, if this was me, I'd be firing the physical training staff. physical therapy staff. Like, this is absurd. Like, did we not stretch before the game? And we take a sack immediately. Doesn't matter if Myles Garrett is out. Sean Spellman gets sent on the blitz as a safety. And again, I told you guys before, if you have watched the series in the past, that I like Sean Spellman a lot. He's just not very fast. That's why I didn't draft him. But at 6'3", I do like that dude at safety. 3rd and 13. You're going to just go with something conservative, a halfback screen for Brian Jackson. And Eric Kendricks is all over it, sniffs it out immediately, and we lose 4 yards on the play, and we got punted away. We're sending Sean Hazelwood off the edge. Oh, Christian Harris knocks it away instead of going for the interception. There's going to be one more play before the end of the 3rd quarter, but that should have been an interception by Christian Harris, I'm not going to lie. Sending Sean Hazelwood off the right side again. We're there on the underneath stuff, but Baron Browning gets there for the sack, making it 3rd and 14 to start the 4th quarter. All right, 3rd and 14. What have they been consistently beating with? 3rd and 14. Here we go. Watching over the top, underneath. We're there on Antonio Gibson. A great tackle by Nick Niemann. Subbing in for the injured Quentin Jeffries. Making the tackle, making it 4th and 9. All right, we got Jamison on a post. We're going to send Brian Jackson out and send him on a go. That should create a lot of space. Got Jameson open underneath. Can we get the throw off? No, it's going to be inaccurate. 2nd and 10. We're trying to bleed clock a little bit with an 11-point lead. 7 minutes left. We're going to try to run Brian Jackson on 2nd and 10 here. Putting back left. Oh, that was such an unnecessary cut back to the left. Instead of picking it probably the 1st down, we make it 3rd and 7. We're going to waste a little bit more time here. We're not going to be conservative and run another halfback screen. We just came out in this formation. We're going to try an RPO on the left side with Jamison. They do have a lot of linebackers over there in support. Probably zone coverage. You just got to hope it's not. And it looks like it is. Brian Jackson on the carry. Picks up the 1st. Takes a big hit, but gets down at the 36-yard line for the 1st down pickup. We're going to try a QB run for Jake Zimmer. It's going to be a QB wrap play. See what we can get from this. A good block setting up. Jake gets shoelace tackled from behind. Almost picks up the 1st. Quentin Posey not getting a lot of looks this game so far for whatever reason. Gray Taylor kind of poached his 1 touchdown. Brian Jackson open underneath. He doesn't look back for it. It's going to be incomplete. But yeah, Quentin Posey not getting a lot of looks, although I do love this play for him. We're going to send Antoine Andrews out to the left. Got Cooper Kupp on a go. And oh, nothing's really there. We just got to throw it away. So we've got a 2-possession lead already. My thinking is, if we go down and score a TD instead of getting a field goal here, we can basically put this game out of reach and completely end it. A field goal still just keeps it at 2 possessions. So we're going for it on this play. We're going to send Antoine Andrews on a drag instead of an in. And we'll see. I think Jameson should beat his matchup. He's got Eric Kendricks on him, one-on-one. Oh my God, it's underthrown. We had pressure. Jameson, oh, gets his fingers on it, but it's going to be incomplete, and that's a turnover on downs. Man, that's the matchup we wanted. We had Eric Kendricks on Jameson Williams. As long as we had the time to make that throw, that should have been an easy TD. We're coming out in base 3-4. They're in single back. It's probably going to be a pass play. It's probably going to be some more short outs. They love the short outs. Watching the drags underneath. Nick Niemann can't make the can't force the incompletion, but we do. Oh, David Andrews is injured on the play, and since Quentin Jeffries is out, this is actually a perfect opportunity for Enrique Anderson to come in and get some PT. One of the tall linebackers that Quentin Jeffries kind of ate up his PT and his role basically after we traded for him. But Enrique Anderson could be a really good linebacker in the future. I'm just not forcing his PT that much. A great tackle by Enrique Anderson, though, to make it 4th and 2. The rookie making a huge play, getting the stop. And they're going to have to punt it, I'm pretty sure. Oh, they're going for it. Okay. Okay, here we go. 4th and 2. We're sending Eric Stokes on the blitz. We love sending him on blitzes. It's a run up the middle. Enrique can't get the tackle. And they go down, and they're not going to get the 1st down pickup. It's going to be a turnover on downs. We get the stop. 1st and 10. Here we go on the carry for Lionel Hebert. Cuts back, and it's not a great cutback. Picking up 2 yards on the play. I do love Z's spot in this situation, actually, though, because I think Antoine's going to break off pretty easily in his one-on-one. But it looks like it's zone. Quentin Posey's wide open underneath. Instead, Quentin Posey could break the tackle. He's not going to, though. Give me 3rd and 3. Jake Zimmer having a fantastic game so far. Doing a great job as a game manager. He's a little bit more than that, obviously, but he's doing a great job nonetheless. Throwing it underneath. Jawan Johnson can't break the tackle and kind of ran his route a little bit more shallow than I wanted him to. It's going to be 4th and 1. And I'm actually going to keep the offense out here. Same principle applies. Field goal gives us a 2-possession lead, which we already have. Touchdown would end the game. Or just continuing to milk clock here. We're going to run this down past 3 minutes. And yeah, if we don't pick it up, we keep them at the 30-yard line. It's not the end of the world, but staying on the field is going to be really good for us. Here we go on the snap. Quentin Posey beats his matchup one-on-one to the outside. Holds on to it this time. Beats Shaq Leonard down at the 20-yard line, and Clellan Ferrell is injured. All right, we're going to run a read option with Brian Jackson. Just read the edge here. Jake Zimmer on the keeper. And, oh, Jake Zimmer fumbled it. Oh, my God, and they picked it up. Eric Kendricks. Oh, my God. Quentin Posey couldn't make it. Brian Jackson's going to catch him. Eric Kendricks is not that fast. Oh, what? All right, well, that was a nightmare scenario, basically. Yeah, I mean, we should have slid with Jake Zimmer. That was really stupid not to do that. But I didn't think he was going to fumble it. I thought he was just going to get tackled, and they end up doing a fumble return for a TD. We're on... Oh, my God. We're on the comebacks. We're on the curls. And it doesn't matter. Don't get our hand in there and force an incompletion instead. It's going to be a 3-point game with 2.5 minutes remaining. We're starting to blow this game a little bit, man. We had a 21-7 lead at half. Gotta come out here and score something. Great blocks. Oh, my God. Brian just... No, he fumbled it. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. We're trying to blow this game like we blew last game. All right, after that near disaster of a play, we are going to bench Brian Jackson as a runner for now. And instead, Hebert is just going to run for 0 yards. And we're going to go to the 2-minute warning. Antoine has been pretty great for us. I'm looking for him again, although Jamison has been pretty great as well, aside from a drop. Don't really have it there. We're escaping outside. We have room. We're going to slide down after the first down pickup. They're going to have to call their first timeout. All right, we're running Lionel Hebert here. We trust him with the ball in his hands. We don't think he's going to fumble. He hasn't had a lot of fumbling issues. Of course, I don't want to jinx him. Lionel Hebert goes down, picking up 0 yards on the play. On 2nd and 10, we're going to be conservative and run it again. This is a counter play, though, and they're kind of overloaded to the right side a little bit, it feels like. So this could work out, and it does not. We get a loss of 2. All right, 3rd and 12. We're going to sub out of this formation. And I'm going to send Brian Jackson on a go. And I actually think that he could get wide open here. I also think Cooper could get wide open. Really, no one's kind of wide. Oh, this is bad, man. We don't have time. We should throw it away. And we don't waste time, ultimately, and we got to punt it back to him. We're sending a man blitz. This is risky for sure. The short outs have been killing us. I'm going to actually go into cover 2. They don't have a lot of time to throw it from their own, goal line. So getting pressure is easy. We don't have to worry about the deep ball that much. We're there with Eric Stokes. Can we get that pick? Nathan Walls with his 2nd pick of his career. And he gets knocked out by his own teammates. But that's going to be the game. They got no timeouts left. Nathan Walls with the game-sealing interception to give us our first win of the season. And we're going to be 1-2. And the Commanders are going to fall to 0-3. And just an awful throw by Jared Goff. He could have just thrown it away. Instead, he threw it and forced it between 5 defenders. And there was no way Nico Collins was making that play, man. What a great interception by Nathan Walls. Because Nathan Walls has historically had brick fingers and brick hands. All right, after the game, looking at the stats, Jake with a really solid game. Not a high completion percentage, but 3 TDs, no picks. I love to see it. Antonio Gibson with a lot of carries. Hebert with 7 carries for 17 yards. Brian, 4 carries for 16 yards. Neither of them having a great performance, really. And Jake not doing great on the ground either, with his fumble being returned for a TD. Receiving-wise, Jamison had that 1 bomb touchdown to start the game. Didn't get another target. He got another target, but he didn't get another catch. Antoine with 3 catches for 54 yards and a TD. Cooper with 2 catches for 48. And like I said, Quentin Posey not getting a lot of love. 2 catches for 15. Greg Taylor, 1 catch for 14 and 1 TD. So not a lot of use of the tight ends in this game, which is kind of unusual, especially for me, because I definitely love to get my tight ends involved when I'm passing the football. Quentin Jeffries, a huge performance in this game. Absolutely outstanding. And then he goes down with a broken foot. And so with him being out, Enrique Anderson got shoved into the starting lineup and actually made some big plays for us, stopping them to force in 4th and 2 one time. And on 4th and 2, we ended up getting the stop as well when they tried to run it. But Enrique Anderson so far looks really good out of LSU, the 6'3" linebacker. He, again, is really fast. I think he has like 89 speed, so he's kind of in the mold of a Quentin Jeffries. But, yeah, it's going to be tough because he definitely doesn't have the coverage ability of Quentin Jeffries. So we're going to see how that plays out. I'm not sure how long Quentin Jeffries is going to be out for. Leading in tackles, though, was, again, Quentin Jeffries and then Tariq Woolen. Sacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had 1.5. Brandon Browning had 1, and Ryan Neal had half of a sack. And then Nathan Walls with our 1 interception of the game. No forced fumbles, of course. No defensive touchdowns. After the game, we got 1 upgrade for Brian Jackson, getting him up to an 83 overall, finally. And I love to see it. I also just worry about his level of production he currently has. Let's look at his stats. So Brian Jackson is second on the team in carries, averaging 3.5 yards per carry, basically, which is the best out of our 2 running backs right now, which is pretty bad. Averaging 18 yards rushing per game, which is pretty bad. 2 fumbles already, which is pretty bad. And then as a receiver, 7 receptions for 31 yards. If you guys didn't watch last season, 89 rushes for 400 yards, 5 yards per carry, 6 rushing touchdowns. And on top of that, he had 55 catches for 750 yards as a running back, and he had 11 receiving TDs at running back. So he was an outstanding two-way, or kind of two-dimensional halfback as a receiver and a runner. Anyways, before we end this episode, let me know if you guys have been enjoying the series. If you have, make sure to hit like and make sure if you're not subscribed to subscribe. But we are now 1-2. Let's look at the 2 injuries we have, and then we'll end the episode. Dontrell, so he had a bruised shoulder in this game, right? He had a bruised shoulder in this game. He wasn't even playing. So this is how busted Madden is. He wasn't playing in the game at all, but we got so many injuries at D tackle in this game that he somehow got subbed in. He was like in street clothes with his broken collarbone, and then he, suddenly appeared on the field in full pads and was like, he's like, put me in, coach. And he subs in for a play, gets a bruised shoulder, goes out for the rest of the game, and turns out he has a broken collarbone now for 7 weeks. That makes no sense to me. He was supposed to come back in like 3 weeks. But this dude, I'm not going to lie, that's Madden's fault, but I'm not going to lie, I might just get rid of this dude. At this point, though, I can't get rid of him because 7 weeks, that's past the trade deadline. So we can't even get rid of him this season. We'd have to do it next season or in the offseason. And so it feels weird. I don't usually throw players under the bus like this as the GM and as the coach, but like Dontrell has not worked out for us at all. And it's not for a lack of talent, man. 6'4", 300 pounds, 23 years old, only his 2nd year with the team. He's got great stats, got good power move, got great strength, got good excel, good hit power, good speed, good pursuit. He's got everything you'd want, man. But look at his injury rating. His injury rating is an 82. It's getting a +4 boost right now, but he has not played in a lot of games for us. He has played, this is the 1 game he played all season because he was out from an injury from the preseason, and in the past, he has 8 tackles total. In his rookie season, he had 8 tackles and 1 sack, which tells you he did not get a lot of PT in his rookie season, not because I didn't start him, but because he was injured. And then Quentin Jeffries, a foot fracture, only out for 2 weeks is insane. Quentin Jeffries is obviously built different. Dontrell is just he's kind of a bitch, I'm not going to lie. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. And who do we play in the next episode? We play the Vikings, so a divisional opponent. And they're actually 2-0 before we advance, so it's going to be a fun game. But thank you guys for watching, and peace.